everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. It's Cindy. So today I thought I would embark on something that I saw on another channel, the Shabby Dabby Doodah YouTube channel, the Bookbuster Challenge. And so what this is basically something I really need to do, which is to kind of process through some of these large books that I buy, either for just the cover or some of the things inside. So this book, The Art World, a 75-year treasury of art news, Art News magazine, it is primarily actually text, and it's sort of like, I don't know, I thought I was going to read a lot of this, but I don't think I really will. This information, it exists online, you know, and I think to read a book this size is a little bit unwieldy. And so I'm going to basically go through the entire thing, pull out the pages that I want to use to cut out the art for use in journals. But then I'm also going to take this kind of to the next step, which is not just making ephemera out of the picture, but also I want to use the remainder of this book as a book to glue down scraps to make more journal cards and more like journaling tags that are collaged from my scraps, which are currently quite out of control. So we open up this big book, and probably I'll use this cover too, so nothing will go to waste here. So first I just want to take this page, because this would be a great page to use in a journal. So I will set that aside. This also I think I will use, because it's like a nice, interesting lined paper. So these will stay. Nothing of major value yet. So you see, it's a lot of text. So I like her. I think I'll take that page. I don't know that I would necessarily, I might use the Mona Lisa for something. Who knows? That's nice. Henri Rousseau, nice image, but I don't think I would use it in a journal. That's nice, but I think, yeah, I think it would be a nice background. I think I will pull it. I was going to say I could just leave it and make it a part of the collage, but I'm not going to. I will do that with something like this, though. That's a little too maybe abstract for what I'm currently working on. That I will take out. This one I will take out as well. Because I made a deal with myself about how many books I'm allowed to have. They have to fit on this little bookshelf that I have. It's like maybe sort of like, I would say 2 feet wide, 2.5 feet wide by about 6.5 feet tall, and it's got, I think, like 6 or 7 shelves. And I made a deal with myself that, like, I can't have more like books in there than what will fit in there. So I actually even sort of cheated, because initially I had the shelf set up so that I had both the books that I bought to sort of tear apart, as well as old books that I want to make journals in the covers. They were all on there. But then I took all of the small books that I want to use to make journals out. And I have them stacked on top of my sort of, my library cabinet, because I liked how that they looked there, all those old books all stacked up. So now I have filled that again, and yeah, we need to tone it down. We gotta get things out. I don't want to have like, you know, an entire room kind of dedicated to just this, because I work on other kinds of like art too, and so my studio is a bit of a shared space in terms of like, I have a pottery studio here, I have a fiber art studio, like I have the supplies for all those things, I have a ton of yarn, I have like, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff, so I've got to make sure that no one thing takes up too much space. It's got a sewing machine and all this fabric. So I've been working, look at that unicorn tapestry, 15th century, so beautiful. I've got like, this morning I was working on masks. I've been trying to get my mojo up to like sew masks again. And I'm just, so I made it interesting for myself. I'm making the 3D box masks from the Japanese sewing book. Maybe I'll show them once I get them done. I got some really beautiful, my husband actually, he picked out some nice fabric for masks when we were at the fabric store last time, back when I had my lesson on my Burnett 77 machine. He had picked out this beautiful like Japanese gold printed fabric. I can show you a scrap of it. These are my scraps actually, so like look how gorgeous that is. It's very shiny, beautiful. So that's what he picked out for masks. This is the, even like the end tape is beautiful. So it's screen printed in Japan. All these flowers. 2018 for Rifle Paper Co. called Wildwood. So I'll actually probably use this in a journal. It's so nice. So yeah, he picked that out, and I've made 4 masks out of the 1 meter that I got, and they're on their way. So when I get them done, I'll show you, and I'll share the link, the YouTube for Japanese sewing book. If you just check YouTube for like 3D mask Japanese sewing book, it will come up. And there's a video that kind of guides you through how to do the pattern basically, but also there's a free download of the pattern. There's like a QR code that you can scan on your phone, and you can find the pattern. I think I'll leave her there. I was thinking of pulling that lady and her child out, but I think I'll leave them there. Maybe they'll get used in the collage. So in the Shabby Dabby Doodah video, it was really cool. She took apart like a nice, it looked kind of like a Victorian book. That's cool. And she basically, she cut out everything she was going to use and then started to make ephemera out of it. So I might do that too. I might share the ephemera that I make, but I'm not sure. I might just not do that. I might just cut things out. I haven't gotten into the practice yet of like making ephemera ahead of time too much, like a little bit maybe, but not a lot, because I find that I like to make my ephemera once I know what kind of journal I'm making. Like I know the theme. Like there's some general themes that I could make ephemera out of, like, you know, taking a piece of art like this and, you know, making a nice journal card and trimming it with like some, you know, teal or red, like, you know, rickrack or something. Like you could make a beautiful journal card that way, and I've got to get myself into doing that kind of thing rather than needing to know what I'm doing, because I can always make nature themed things, because I will always be like working in nature themes. But then again, I'm also just like so busy working on all the stuff that I'm doing. So I don't know. I need like another 24 hours in every 24 hours. Although I stayed up late last night, which I like never get to do because I always have to tend to the kids at bedtime, and also I've got to get ready for work, but I'm off this week. my company closes between the 2 holidays, and so that's kind of nice. So I was able to like stay up late, and my husband had the kiddos and watched a movie with them and put them to bed. So last night I stayed up late actually just working on the masks, and that was nice. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll pull that. A lot of interesting reading in here. A lot of this stuff, though, I've already covered in my art history education, so I'm pretty well versed in art history, so I don't necessarily find a lot of this earth-shattering information. It's a cool studio work picture. I love seeing women in their studios. It's like a magazine that I really like. It's like, I forget what it's called, but it's like a where women create, maybe, or where women work, and it's that kind of thing. I also sometimes watch a bunch of like YouTube videos about like studio tours and walkthroughs. It's nice to see like where people work. Maybe I will do that at some point. Right now is a weird time though, because my studio is sort of half packed up as we work on renovations. Next thing I need to do is some drywalling, because we had a pipe that we had to replace in our basement, and so that's done, but now I need to replace the drywall where we had to cut it open to replace the pipe, and then I have to replace some of the, well, all of the trim that goes around the room, because a little bit of it got wet, and so when something like that happens, you just literally need to replace the whole thing, because you can't just replace a section or it will look kind of strange. Okay, so in that whole big book, you know, I probably pulled maybe, I'd say like not even 15 pages. So this is a lot to hold on to for this, right? It's like that will condense significantly what I have, and then when I make stuff, the whole thing is gone. So I'm going to just set those aside. Then I'm going to get my scraps, my glue, and I'm going to do some collaging. So the first thing I actually have is the cover of the book. And I want to use some of the images from it. There's my ruler. There it is. So there's just a few images that I want to use. Let's see if I can tear this with my ruler here. Yeah, I can. Okay. One. This paper is very shiny. Okay, and that's all I want from that. So now we can begin with this first page. So I'm just going to get started, and I'm not going to think too much about this. That's the deal with this kind of collage. It's going to look very different once it's all been cut up and kind of recomposed into journaling cards anyhow. So, and I'm only going to go this close to the edge because I want space to be able to tear the page out. And I'm also only going to be collaging on one side of the paper at this time. When I make the journal cards, I'll probably collage the other side with blank pages. Like my scraps of like white papers and dyed papers and that sort of thing. So there's lots of ways of doing this kind of collage. You can actually use your old book pages when you tear out a book page, like from like your glue book like this. You could actually just not, like, usually it's got glue all over it. I will fold it in half and make a journal card out of it. But you can also use these book pages. You can attach a bunch of them together just by collaging on top of them, and then you create these large pieces that you can use later for small collage cards. So I'm literally just grabbing from the very top of my bin and going. I'm not like thinking a whole lot about what I'm doing. And it's actually very therapeutic to create in this way. And I need a new glue stick. This one is complete. One moment. Okay. Oops. So it's New Year's Eve. Usually I make lasagna for New Year's Eve. It's just kind of a tradition that I got into. But this year I'm going to actually make turkey because we didn't make turkey for Christmas. We wanted to make something different. So we made a prime rib, and now I'm going to make a turkey for Christmas and or for New Year's. Because everybody talking about turkey made me really want to have turkey. So here we are. So I think I just missed gluing this down a little bit here. It's just, there we go. And I also have just a ton of this tissue paper. So normally I try to like separate my scraps of like certain things like tissue and stuff, but this stuff I actually just got in a thrift haul, and I used some of it already for my indigo journal. So I'm just going to use it here and there to just fill in the white spaces and add a little continuity to these pages, because it's actually very nice for that when you've just got some white space or you don't know what to put in a certain spot, or you want to be able to sort of see the images that are behind through the paper. Okay, so we'll just set that up here as like something to grab from. And then I've got this scrap of like a raccoon. It's like an embroidery paper, and it's like, I like this corn stalk that's beside it, so I think I'll put that there. I'm also going to pull the color key off the bottom because it's really cool too. Okay, let's pull that off. There we go. And I have things in my scraps that don't belong there. Okay, so now we have this little strip. Oops. Probably use it down this side. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. I might just have kind of a easy peasy kind of day. Maybe if the weather's nice, I'll go outside for a bit with the kiddos. Take a nice walk. Yesterday I didn't do too many interesting things. I just shipped packages. And so if you have made a purchase from my shop, your package has been shipped. Hopefully the backlog in the postal service, especially in the United States, really starts to move. I also had to drop off something at a UPS yesterday, and oh my gosh, when I went there, there was just like, I guess they do returns for Amazon, and there was just an entire wall that was stacked like probably 8 feet high with return packages to go to Amazon. So it was a little bit like sad to see. I've sort of heard, and I don't know how much of this is true. I mean, because like, well, I've heard that a lot of that goes into the landfill because they don't process returns. But I do know also that I have seen that people actually can buy Amazon return, like, you know, crates. So hopefully things like that are happening. I don't know. I'm trying to just stop buying things that aren't like super necessary. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to do that. I also think in my bullet journal this year, I might track my spending in a slightly different way, where I actually write down what it is that I'm purchasing, so that not only do I have like just my spending record in my bank account, but I also just have like a record of literally like, what am I buying? Especially things like that are, you know, things like books and like craft supplies or art supplies, and like, you know, just stuff that is leisure. Because what I would like to do is just start saving more than I am now, and just kind of like, I don't know, putting my money to different kinds of things than what I usually have been. Like, I have a pretty balanced spending habit these days, but I'd like to change it a little bit more. You can always do better, right? So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Not that, you know, we'll be doing a whole lot of spending really anyhow, because there's nowhere to go. So really nice paper. It's like an old, an old pattern that you would use to trace an embroidery. I got it on one of my, actually on the thrift trip that I did for the Transform Challenge, which I need to start working on, by the way. I've got this like basket sitting beside me. It has all of my works in progress. So I've got a few things that I need to finish, and you know, if you're wondering what's been going on, I've just been trying to, I've been working on a secret project, which you'll find out about on January the 1st. So tune in for my January the 1st video. It's going to launch at 9 a.m. But also I've been working just on these indigo journals that I'm making right now. And, but I do still have the Rainbow Bright Altar book to finish. And I've got, what else? Well, the Transformer Challenge, I think the first thing I'm going to do, I mean, this in some ways counts because this is stuff that isn't a book that I'm transforming into book supplies. So it does count. But yeah, I want to work on that more, and I want to do a specific project for that where I use that Trivial Pursuit game and make a journal out of it. Feels so good to use scraps. Oh my gosh. Just to get rid of scraps. It's so good. It's watching a little pile of things get smaller and smaller. Although I do keep gluing this glue book to my arm because it's on the wrong side. I'm right-handed and it's like weird to have it on this side. But I'm really hopeful for 2021. I'm hoping to just cultivate a lot of good stuff. Like, I know we're still going to be in the thick of things a little bit health-wise, but I think there's hope, and I'm just going to try to like focus on my big goals for 2021, which is finishing all this home renovation and preparing myself for big life changes. And it's a little bit overwhelming to think about, but I can do it. You know, this stuff is always majorly kind of like, I wouldn't say I feel stressed about it. I just feel like it's like you feel like there's some big thing looming in your path, and you just have to get it done. Basically, it's like using all these scraps, just get it done. So yeah, big changes will come, but you just kind of bite off one chunk at a time. That's what I'm going to do. And I plan to do a lot of creative stuff, which hopefully I can, you know, share on this channel. And I have to say, I'm really glad that I decided to start making like relatively daily videos of just whatever I'm doing, because I think it's a really good reflection. I think sometimes we think like, what did I even do this day, this week, whatever, you know, this month, where did 2020 go? Well, you know, I have an answer for that. Like, I actually did a lot of projects and I did a lot of fun stuff despite being at home and not socializing a lot. A lot of good stuff also happened, you know. So I don't want to discount that and forget it. Okay. I don't know if I can keep my glue book on this side. I'm gonna have glue everywhere. Okay, let's try this. This might be easier. Yeah, okay. Before I glue my arm completely to this page. So that's not gonna work yet. I need a different space for that. Let's grab some more scraps here. I'm going to put any blank pages, like any pieces like this, up here out of frame where I can grab them for later. So what are we looking for? We're looking for some small pieces to just cover little sections, and then something for the middle. It's going to tear bits of this cabbage dyed paper. Okay. Now this was a piece of that really beautiful first image that I used in the Indigo journal, and I think I actually just want to save this image to be used in a journal as like a tag, because it's really nice. See, it's beautiful. So that's something that, although it ended up in my scraps, is going to go probably with the Indigo journal. I'm going to set it with that stuff. There we go. And then with this page, I would just save like this little flower, just because, why not? This little piece. Because, you know, it can cover right there. Okay, so now I need to just deal with this center area, which I think I will take this bit of yellow. Maybe just kind of smuck it there in the middle, but I'm going to tear the edges because I don't like the hard edges in my collage a whole lot. So just for the actual page edges, they're fine, but in the center, I kind of like how it looks when there's not so many hard edges. A few are fine, but it's nicer to have these, because then when you cut it into like sections, there's no like jaggedy edges. Okay. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera, which I'm known to do from time to time. I think I'm also going to make some nice bread with my daughter today. We have a book called Sun Bread, and it's like sort of celebrating the winter solstice, and it's a nice book, and it has a recipe to make a little loaf of bread that looks like the sun. And I think that that is something I will do with her today. Doing this, I go through glue sticks so quickly. Luckily, I have an entire case of glue sticks. It's one of the perks of my husband's job is he's able to get a few like great supplies. So he can buy them directly from like the companies that manufacture them. Now this, I think actually I will also save for a journal card because it's just really cool. So I think I'll set that aside as well. Sometimes things, like I said, they just end up in scraps even though they're not really scraps. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting it out of your way. The nice thing when you're collaging like this too, if you're using like I'm using this large piece of like, this is actually a piece of Matisse art, is that when you're making like art from it, when you're making like a bunch of journal cards, it's nice because you can have the same theme. So if you wanted to do like a pocket and then a tag that went with it, or a journal card that went with it, you could. And, or, you know, you could make the same kind of like colored themed ephemera to go throughout a journal. So there's lots of possibilities like that. Okay, so this keeps bothering me, so I think it's beckoning for me to maybe put it down on some of this. There's some things and supplies like tissue and napkins that I find particularly difficult to like have hanging about. Like, it's nice to have them for things, but like having them hanging about can be a little difficult. Let's tuck it over here. Going to pull this edge off these nice English roses. This is a beautiful photography book of English roses, and I cut many of them out for this book, or for the journals that I've been working on, and I have a nice bag of like really beautiful roses that I've cut out to be used in journals. So there's a spot where I'll just put this down, even though it is a hard line, it's okay. We just need a few more little scrappies here, and then I think we'll be good to go. And that's probably a wrap for this video, because I know at one point my video for some bizarre reason just cut off, so I'll be splicing that together again. And I think we're definitely over 30 minutes, probably closer to an hour today, which is okay. It just takes a little bit longer to upload when you do over too much of a big video. Okay, so that's what we did today. We've torn all the pages out of this book. So we've started now. We've got 3 collaged pages, I think. 1, 2, and this one, which is not cooperating. There we go, 3. So 1, 2, 3 collaged pages. And I'm going to keep working on this. You'll probably see another video of me doing this at some point. So yeah, thank you to Shabby Dabby Doodah for this bookbuster idea. It's a great idea and one that I definitely will make use of because I need to bust down some books. And so check out her channel. I'll link it in the description, and I hope you all have a really great day. Thank you for checking out the video, and subscribe if you enjoy watching my videos. And until next time, thanks guys.